Why won't black men protect black women like men in other cultures protect their women? This is a question asked by a woman in a social media group that I'm in. This type of question would normally, well, I would say not normally, but it used to get me really upset. It would really get under my skin when I would hear questions like this. Because all my life, I saw black men protecting black women. So I would never understand questions like this, so broad. But now, not so much. I just laugh at questions like this because I know they're the furthest thing from the truth. And if there is any truth to such a question like this, and actually, there very well may be that black men are no longer protecting black women. But there's some reasoning behind this. There's some reasoning behind this. First of all, let me be clear. I will die protecting the women in my family. And that also includes my queen, the woman that I'm with. Let's be honest here. The average black woman will tell you they're strong, independent, and they don't need a man. Now, why would I risk my life, my family, my freedom over a certain group of women who are combative, uncooperative, and unamenable? Modern women say they don't need a man. This is what we hear all the time. Times are different now. Protection doesn't come from one individual. When I hear women ask this question, why don't black men protect black women? Well, protection doesn't just come from one individual. It comes from a whole community, if you will. In that word community is the word unity. Black people, for the most part, don't have unity. And without unity, there is no community. And without community, how can you have protection? And then we also have this element of black women who side with the enemy and undermine black family structure as a whole. How can we protect that? How can this be protected when you're going against the grain? Most black women today want to eradicate the patriarch family structure, but they also want the same protection that the patriarchy system brings. See, they want that protection from black males, black men, which are the patriarch of the family, but they don't want the system or the structure of the patriarchy family. In order to build a community, there must first be unity between the man and the woman, meaning both must understand their gender roles. I know that word is taboo in 2021, but it is what it is. It is what it is. The man and woman are the first unit. Family is the second unit. Community is the third unit. So there's a stepping stone. There has to be man and woman to create family. In order to create community, you have to have families within a certain group together or community together. To build a community, you need families. If black women truly want to be protected, They first have to be willing participants in building the community that they want protection from. They have to be willing participants in building the community they want protection from. You have to raise your sons to protect my daughters. I have to raise my sons to protect your daughters. Okay? It's as simple as that. You have to be a willing participant. So that means no hot girl summers, no thotting it up, no radical hood rat activities. It's time to be serious. It's time to build community if you want protection. See, being protected comes with a patriarchy system. You also have to be cooperative. You can't be combative when you have men trying to protect you. You can't be combative when men are trying to protect you. Or, to be honest, you can't be combative in general. If a woman tears her man down, she is destroying her protection. Protection is a traditional privilege. It's not an obligation. It's not a responsibility unless it's your direct family member, like your daughter or your mom. But there's no obligation for a random black man to protect a random black woman. There's no obligation in that. That's a traditional privilege. These are old-fashioned traditions that can easily be revoked. Again, there's no obligation for me to protect some woman that I don't even know. The only obligation I have to protect is my direct family member. That's it. Look, the fact of the matter is, black women want these old-fashioned traditional men to appear out of the thin blue air and throw their coat down over a puddle of water so you can walk over it, or rescue you on some side of the road and fix your tire, or fix your starter, and you live happily after. You know, but that's just not the case. You're looking in the past for that traditional man, but want nothing to do with being a traditional woman. So my question would be, what's the incentive? What's in it for us? Because are women going to all start being like our grandmothers were? Are you going to give us that treatment? What if men start looking to the past and demanding women start being like how our great grandmothers were? You know, most modern women today would say that that's fanciful thinking. You must be out of your mind. That's not realistic, right? That's what most modern women would say if men say, hey, I want you to be more like traditional, like my great grandmother was. You know, start folding my clothes and cooking my food and cleaning up and doing things like that, more traditional. You know, I think men have adjusted to what women are now. Like, we've accepted all the things that women have fought for. You know, and actually we fought hand in hand. You know, if it weren't for men, a lot of these laws wouldn't have been passed. So, equality, feminist, women's liberation movement, equal treatment. We've been there. What else do you want us to fight for? When you say, can we fight for you? What else do you want? Do you want us to risk our lives? Based on what? Do you want us to risk our lives while you're out here doing reckless shit? Because I'm not understanding when women say that. Why aren't you, especially black women, why aren't black men protecting us like other cultures protect their women? So that brings me to this. If you want individual protection, you better get it from your brother, your father, or your husband. Because when you ask for the community for protection, you know, that's a whole different ball game. That's a whole different ball game. See, I think black women don't want fairness. They want favoritism. Many women want equality when it benefits them, but traditionalism when equality becomes a burden. American women have been raised to believe that they can have equal treatment to a man, but also have special treatment as a woman. Women need to really make up their mind, because you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't be treated as equals, but then also get special treatment just because you're a woman. It doesn't work that way. Women want men to adhere to gender roles, but they themselves have forgotten their roles as women. Women want a knight in shining armor, traditional man, but they aren't traditional women. To most men, this sounds like an unequal, unfair transaction, and you're wondering why men are not buying it. The gig is up. If you have a salon and you aren't getting any customers, what's that telling you? If you're not getting any customers, is it the customer's fault that nobody's coming in and getting their hair done? Or is it the person offering the service? There must be bad customer service or bad products. Nobody's coming to your salon. That's for a reason. Men are supposed to be chasing women. Men are supposed to be protecting women. But those things aren't happening anymore. Something must be wrong in your salon. The customer service is horrible. Nobody's coming in. Ladies, I think it's time for you to look in the mirror. And instead of asking men the question of why aren't we protecting you, look in the mirror and ask yourself the question, what are you doing not to be protected? What are you doing? What's wrong with your store? Right? It's up to men to want to do the shopping. We're the controllers of the relationship. Women control the sex. It's time to look in the mirrors, lady. So that's enough rambling for me. That's all I had. I just was pondering on my mind, and I wanted to get that off my chest. I'll probably be coming back to you with a little bit more of some of my shenanigans on social media. There's a lot of that stuff going on, and just wanted to get that off my chest. So thanks. Talk to you in a minute.